Okay, so in terms of the TFS architecture for the release 6, essentially I will go through the main changes. So it is more or less what we were discussing during the plenary, but now for the wide audience. As you can see here, this is the updated architecture for release 6. We tried to polish a bit the design. And here, for instance, we upgraded in the SBI the list of available SBI drivers. The same for the NBI. We included some of them. Now that we have the network slice controller, we promoted the IETF slice NBI from the controller to the network slice controller, because this should be the one managing slices, and the slice component was was removed because it's in process of deprecating. Besides that, we incorporated new components like the pluggables component that enables to manage coherent pluggables like digital subcarrier multiplexing transceivers. We also incorporated, for instance, the SciMap connector. This module, I will elaborate on it a bit later, but essentially it's an enabler for many things on structured data, observability, telemetry, and so on. And OSM client. Now OSM can request to Teraflow the provisioning of site-to-site connectivity services, but also if Teraflow at some point needs to deploy, for instance, a virtual router, Teraflow can make use of the OSM client component to interface with OSM and request the deployment of this virtual router, for instance, and then Teraflow can configure it as a network element. So somehow we can interface in a new way with open source Mano. For the rest of components, many upgrades in many components. We will going through them, not all, because there are a lot of, but a few of them. So we are building the foundation for autonomous 6G transport. In that sense, we are implementing or focusing on three main aspects: the programmability, observability, and security. In terms of programmability, we are featuring some support for flexible automation and policy-driven control. In terms of observability, we are enhancing telemetry and real-time network visibility. And in terms of security, we are providing quantum safe security mechanisms and also energy-aware slicing. We will go through them in a moment. Policy-driven automation for real-time network control. Essentially, we are implementing three main points. One of them is implementing policy-based KPI observation for adaptive for adapting the network and also intent-driven network management. We are also featuring new plugin-based automation services for scalability and flexibility, and we are featuring in slicing energy-aware capacities in order to be more sustainable during the resource allocations. In terms of telemetry for real-time monitoring, we are featuring three main aspects. We are focusing on three main aspects, let's say. One of them is SciMap, that, as I said, I will elaborate in a moment. P4 in-band network telemetry that enables to monitor the performance of P4-based data planes, and also GNMI streams, so that we can collect the telemetry data from, for instance, packet optical network devices through those GNMI streams. In terms of the SciMap, SciMap stands for Service and Infrastructure Map. It is a conceptual model that enables to provide a comprehensive view for the network operators, and that way they can properly depict and see and analyze how the different services are mapped in the network, how the different network elements interrelate across layers. So it provides a very, very interesting view of the network, for instance, to facilitate things like management of inventory, telemetry engineering, service assurance, and so on. we will see a few, well, some of the main features of SciMap in the next slide. So let's go for that. Benefits. So as I was mentioning, better network visibility because the network operator can see the different layers of the network in very interesting ways. It improves the network management capacities. It can also increase the automation because it's based on standardized APIs and data models. It enables to perform optimization of the resource allocation, given that you can see this cross-layer view of the networks. It provides service reliability. It can also serve as an enabler for network digital twins. Actually, SciMap is not a network digital twin, it's just an enabler for, because it, as I was mentioning, it provides this structured view of the information so that the network digital twin can then consume such data in a structured manner. Then in terms of flexibility and scalability, it can work across different domains and different technologies. So then it provides a lot of value for the operator. And also it is built to be secure and scalable. So that way it can manage very large operator networks. In terms of the unification of IP and optical network control, I was mentioning about the coherent pluggables, but also we are featuring things in the aspects of being able to deploy FlexGrid Lightpath and optical bandwidth expansions. We can feature now IP over WDM service management at the orchestrator level. In terms of quantum safe networks, we are building foundation for that. In particular, now that we have a framework for QKD, we are stabilized. Well, we are really stabilized some integrated CI/CD pipeline test so that the QKD framework is validated in each and every contribution that it's made to Teraflow. Also, we are preparing Teraflow SDN for quantum safe network security. And in the future, we are planning to provide future-proof network infrastructures for 6G. In terms of the release 6 highlights, well, some of the points I already disclosed them, but let's go one by one. We are featuring closed-loop automation. That means we are introducing policy-driven KPI observation and plugin-based automation. All this will enable to perform real-time network management based on intents. In terms of observability, I was mentioning, we are featuring P4 in-band network telemetry. We are featuring OpenConfig GNMI telemetry collectors with streaming capacities. We are featuring this IETF SciMap concept for structured and standardized network state view. IP optical convergence, well, I was mentioning in terms we are featuring FlexGrid Lightpath deployment, optical bandwidth expansion, IP over WDM, the DSCM coherent pluggables, support for OpenRODEM, and unification of packet and optical layers if needed. We are featuring this multi-domain orchestration through open source Mano with these two different ways of OSM requesting Teraflow provisioning of end-to-end connectivity services or Teraflow requesting to OSM the provisioning of virtual routers when needed. In terms of security, I was mentioning about the new features on QKD testing, automated testing. But also another interesting feature is that in Teraflow now we are releasing a new module that it's named as a firewall agent that you can deploy in a pair of servers so that Teraflow can manage the firewall rules in that server in an integrated view, in an integrated manner together with the intermediate firewalls that you can deploy along the network. That way, in Teraflow, now we can feature end-to-end or peer-to-peer, let's say, secured IP connections. In terms of energy-aware network slices, The network slice controller module it's now featured to provide green slice planning, so that way it can provide more sustainable resource allocations. And finally, in terms of the web UI and the DevOps, we are enhancing them. So in the web UI, we are featuring new ways to visualize the optical resources, the access control list, the network topologies. And in the DevOps, we are enhancing the CI/CD pipeline tests, optimizing the reliability, well, for optimizing the reliability and the maintainability of the code, and that for sure accelerates the release cycles in the future. In terms of, well, OSM and a bit more in detail, multi-domain orchestration, I was mentioning that we can feature now, we can enable OSM to establish or to request to establish end-to-end connections, and in parallel, we can feature the other way around, Teraflow requesting to OSM, the provisioning of virtual routers. We can also simplify cross-domain orchestrations by means of this integration, and we can feature day 2 operations in OSM that require the provisioning of layer 3 VPN slices. And that will be it in terms of the architecture. I don't know if there is any question from the panel.